Today's segment is on radical hospitality. What does exceptional hospitality look like in practice? It's so essential for a new church start, but any church of any size. Radical hospitality, it goes beyond being friendly. It goes beyond just welcoming guests, but it's meaning to receive people with warmth, openness, authenticity that significantly exceeds expectations. It's intentional hospitality, in fact, that surprises and delights people by making them feel noticed, giving them personal attention, and providing excellent follow-through. It's hospitality that makes people and guests feel so welcome that they want to return again and again. When we live into this practice of radical hospitality, we give people a taste of the kingdom of God, so it has to be rooted in a theological framework. When hospitality is done well, it changes lives. To consistently exceed guest expectations, we are likely to model some different behaviors, new behaviors, to go out of our comfort zones to make our guests feel comfortable. Radical hospitality creates a feeling of being comfortable, accepted, and valued, a memorable moment that people will never regret and that they want to repeat over and over again. Friendliness is nice, but it doesn't create a feeling that people remember. Maya Angelou is often attributed with the saying that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Guests don't come back to our churches because of what we do, but because of how we make them feel. The difference between friendliness and radical hospitality is intentionality. To exceed guest expectations on a consistent basis, we have to be very intentional about it. 3 principles to help us create this atmosphere of intentionality and an environment of hearing the message in prayer and song and sermon, and that they keep wanting to come back to. These 3 principles are notice, offer personal attention, and provide excellent follow-through. The first is notice. A tremendous power in noticing. We can't provide radical hospitality until we first notice. Everything that follows, all of our hospitality efforts depend on first noticing. To us, notice must be being aware of our surroundings, both physical and the people around us, and be present in that moment. Noticing includes offering a warm greeting to each guest you encounter, being on the lookout for people and environmental issues that may need special attention, and developing a dependable system for noticing and acknowledging guests. New churches often have a hard time doing this, and churches that are well along in their life cycle may feel like they've been in a rut. So it's important for your hospitality team to get some refreshers to receive new guests. The second is offer personal attention. And it's completely dependent on making space in your life to notice. When guests receive personal attention, it's memorable. It doesn't happen often in these days of self-service and screens. How often do you call an organization to get information you need only to be caught in an ever-ending cycle of automated instructions? Have you ever noticed the trend at the retail stores to install self-checkout aisles, which means no interaction with cashiers? As our world gets more and more connected online, it seems we are also more isolated interpersonally. In their book, The Power of Moments, Chip and Dan Heath quote service expert Leonard Berry, which says, to exceed customer expectations and create a memorable experience, you need the behavioral and interpersonal parts of the service. You need the element of pleasant surprise, and that comes when human beings interact. People come to church and expect one of 2 things: that they're overly smothered by an overzealous church, or they're just another face in the crowd. When we take time to make people feel seen and heard as individuals, we surprise and delight them. We show personal attention in many ways, including introducing yourself and learning someone's name, wearing name tags and other identifying markers. Practice the 10-foot rule, which is now great for a COVID-19 world, and the 3-minute rule. Take responsibility for greeting those standing or seated within 10 feet of you, and spend at least 3 minutes before and after any other church activity talking to someone you don't know very well. Introducing the people you meet to others, looking for opportunities to go the extra mile, and anticipating and fulfilling guest needs. These are simple practices, but they have the power to make guests feel noticed and seen through personal attentions. The third, provide excellent follow-through. The final principle of follow-through, and this encompasses everything that happens after that first encounter with a guest or when we first notice an issue in our environment on facilities. John Maxwell is quoted about the impact of excellent follow-through in this way: diligent follow-up and follow-through will set you apart from the crowd and communicate excellence. First, establish a reliable method to identify who your guests are and how many times they have visited, if you don't have one already. Now, this is difficult for some new churches because they don't have the systems in place. They may not be there. However, whatever it means to make people feel welcome, we have to do it. Some places offer first-time visitor gifts. One of the things that our church has started to establish is that we would give a gift in someone's honor, because instead of spending $3 on a cup that they'll just put away, we figured we'd put that toward mission. Whatever it is, when we live into the principles of radical hospitality, we give people a taste of the kingdom of God by showing that we are anticipating and ready for guests, that they are welcomed and accepted. We become physical manifestations of Christ's presence and Christ's love to welcome those who come into our doors. When we make their experience exceptionally positive, their preconceived notions about church and Christians are then deconstructed. They're open to returning, which is the first step in the life of faith. When hospitality is done well, it changes lives. So think about now the systems and strategies, whether you're in an existing church, whether you're going to plant a church in the future, what kind of strategies and follow-up systems do you need to make people feel welcome and to practice hospitality?